president of the Greater Greektown Neighborhood Alliance, and I first met Paris about a year ago when she was campaigning for Democratic Central Committee. And that first time that Paris and I met, we talked for a few hours about the future of Baltimore and the type of work that needs to be completed to get us there. And over that past year of knowing Paris and working with Paris, I've seen her work every single day, coming over to what some might consider the wrong side of the tracks here in Greektown, Bayview, to make sure that we're heard and that we have other community advocates across Baltimore that are involved and engaged. Paris has attended probably more community association meetings than I have in Greektown. And that's just the type of person that Paris is. And we couldn't be happier to have her here and welcome her to Greektown. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Denise.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Denise Gilmore. I'm the co-chair with Baltimore Women United, and I've been an organizer in the city here for many years. I first met Paris in 2016. We were organizing together for the Hillary Clinton primary campaign. I was so impressed with Paris then. I continue to be incredibly impressed by Paris. No matter what the cause is or issue, if she's passionate about it, she's absolutely 100% relentless about it. She goes the extra mile. There is, do we have any Parks and Rec fans? Parks and Rec show, right? Like, she's literally our, Leslie Knope in the city, and it is such an honor and a pleasure to be here with Paris tonight as she announces her plans to move Baltimore forward. Thank you all for coming. Paris is one of the most driven, capable, and thoughtful leaders that we have here in the city, and it's excellent to have her here. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Kurt Schiller next.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. I've known Paris for just several years myself, and we've gotten to know each other through working with the community organizations in which we reside. I'm president of the Upper Fells Point Association, and she's been vice president of Fells Prospect. And we've just done a lot of activities together, and I've had the opportunity to talk with Paris, and her vision really is my vision for Baltimore. When it comes to many things with the city, looking at just its potential for growth and working with the issues that we have. So, I don't know, I think Paris has a lot of good thoughts and visions for us, and I'm willing to work and help her, achieve those. All right, I'm going to pass it to Megan.
Hello, my name is Megan Stanton. I have no political credentials of any kind, but I have known Paris for a very long time. We met in the 7th grade, and she is my best friend. And I'm really excited to be one of the people who gets to introduce her to you tonight. Paris and I, we've, over the last 15 years now, she has been such an incredible supporter of mine, and I have been so honored to pay that support back to her. She is the kind of person who always makes time to come sit on my back porch and debrief about our lives, even though I know that she literally never has time to do that. Paris and I, a lot of our friends and peers have chosen to make their lives in places other than Baltimore. And that's great. They are all doing amazing things, but Paris and I have in common that we're both two young people who have been caught very willingly in that particular gravity that Baltimore exerts over certain people. I wanted to give back to the city that helped make me, and Paris has turned that same instinct into this overwhelming desire to be a public servant and be civically engaged, and I just admire her so much. She is the best friend in the world, and she's going to be great for Baltimore, and I'm so excited you're all here to support her. So I'm going to finally introduce Mike Ball.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. There we go. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mike Ball. I'm a community leader on this side of the tracks, the right side of the tracks. Arguably, I was a president for the past couple years of the best community on this side of the tracks, Bayview. There it is. I've been in the political realm for about 10 years. 5 years of that I spent on the Central Committee, and I got to meet many elected leaders over the years. And I can tell you that some of them lack a certain human element, let's call it sincerity, but I can tell you that Paris does not lack that at all. I'm excited when Paris came, sorry, I get very nervous in front of crowds, I apologize. When Paris became chairwoman last year, I got very excited because I knew that we had one of the good ones. So I can tell you two things from working with Paris over the past couple months. One, she's got a lot of moxie, a lot of spunk, and she's very committed. Committed because she's getting out, she's talking with people, she's making sure that people are registered to vote, she's making sure they're aware of the upcoming elections, what matters, what dates matter, when to show up, and the numbers don't lie. If you look over the last year in District 46, the number of votes cast increased by 56% over 2014, and in District 1 alone, that number was 95%. A lot of that hard work happened with Paris at the helm as our chair, so I want to give a big round of applause to that. And I can't wait to see what the future holds next, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend and my colleague on the Central Committee, Paris Bienert.
So I promised you all an announcement, and I will get to that in just a few minutes. But first I want to talk to you about Southeast Baltimore. This is an incredible place of diversity, history, struggle, and survival. Baltimore was once the second largest gateway for immigrants coming to the United States, second only to Ellis Island. Like so many families here in the 1st District, my family came to these shores in search of a better life. My grandparents bought a house here. My grandpa worked on a plant in Middle River. My dad, who's here tonight, was born just right across the street at the old city hospital, now part of Johns Hopkins Bayview. One thing I love about our city is that it is still a place people come to from all over the world to start their lives. Today, Southeast Baltimore is home to one of the fastest growing immigrant populations in the state of Maryland. When my grandparents came to this country, they saw Southeast Baltimore as a place they could make a better life for themselves, for their children, and for me. But today in Baltimore, that promise is slipping away for too many people. I work with people every day who are facing overwhelming challenges and are honestly struggling to survive. I work with families who need a place to live, but they can't find available, affordable housing. I work with people who are struggling from opioid addiction and they can't access the medications they need because of the stigma that our society still places on them. I work with parents who needed the federal government to reopen because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to feed their children without food stamps. And so while some of us in the room right now may not be facing those same challenges in our own lives, the circumstances of our city's most underserved and vulnerable people affects all of us. We all have a stake in ensuring that everyone in our city has access to the resources they need. When some of us are hurting, all of us are hurting. Last year, I knocked on over 7,000 doors across Southeast Baltimore. I was proud to be elected to serve on the Democratic State Central Committee here in the 46th District, and I was honored when my colleagues chose me to serve as their chair. We've worked hard to increase voter registration and voter turnout to make sure that everyone in our community has the opportunity to make their voices heard. Listening to people across our district, I've learned that we all want the same things, whether you were born in Butchers Hill or Brewers Hill, whether you live in Patterson Park or Graceland Park. We all want strong, safe, and healthy communities. We want to feel more connected, and we want to feel like our voices are being heard. When I talk to people, what I hear is that the strain of our city's challenges is pulling our communities apart. People feel disconnected from each other. They feel that our local government is out of touch and that the quality of our city services is in decline. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can change our circumstances. Our neighbors are worth fighting for. Baltimore is worth fighting for. And that brings me to the reason that we're all here tonight. I promised you an announcement, so here it is. I'm running for city council in the 1st District. If we want to change our circumstances, we need to change our strategy. We need a leader who will listen to people, build relationships, and follow through to deliver the right outcomes. We need a leader who excels at the fundamentals. But we also need a leader who understands the bigger picture, who can unite our communities to bring us together so we're working together to advance our shared priorities. As a proud daughter of Southeast Baltimore, like Senator Barbara Mikulski and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, I've learned that sometimes the best man for the job is a woman. I've learned that being an effective leader involves 2 main things: the commitment to show up and the willingness to surround yourself with people who know more than you do. I chose to pursue social work and public service because I believe I can make a difference in this city. When I look around this room, I see friends, I see neighbors, and I see a whole lot of people who care about Baltimore just as much as I do. Tonight I'm asking you to join my campaign because I'm running for you, the people of Southeast Baltimore. To those who believe that our differences make us stronger, and to those who want a more inclusive and connected community here in the 1st District, I'm running for you. To the thousands of people I've talked to over the last year who've convinced me that our district is ready for a woman to roll up her sleeves and get things done, I'm running for you. We need to get back to the basics. The water leaks, the potholes, the trash, all those little things that have a huge impact on our day-to-day quality of life. And to the people who understand that representation means having a seat at the table, I'm running for you. Our government should represent the people, and we won't be truly represented as long as our city council is only 20% women. We know that the reason we don't have more women in leadership positions is that too many qualified women stay on the sidelines. So tonight I'm getting off the sidelines. As a native Southeast Baltimorean, as a social worker, as a political organizer, and as your future councilwoman, I know we can do better. If you believe Baltimore is worth fighting for, come fight with me. When we work together, we fight harder and we win. Together we can change history. So let's get to it.